What's up guys, Tino here. So I don't want to speak hypothetically or share statistics and probabilities because the average person is far from average, so that probably wouldn't be useful anyways. I would rather share my experiences as a foreigner who went to UCT and obtained a degree and eventually ended up in a career in cloud computing. Last week I shared my experiences on the learning experience at UCT. How good was UCT when it came to actually teaching me engineering related things? And make sure to check out that video before this one because this is like a part 2 of that video. In short, the learning experience was pretty good. It was, it was good. It was good enough to get me a degree in engineering, which as a foreigner in South Africa was very useful when it came to like job hunting, and I became a permanent resident because of my degree. Unfortunately, that is where the usefulness of a degree ends. A degree is fairly useless when it comes to actually landing a job, at least in IT and engineering. I feel like I can speak for those two fields because that's where I belong. However, I'd love to hear your opinions, especially if you're in other fields and in and industries. I'd love to hear what you guys have experience in those fields. When I say a degree is useless though, it's not completely useless, it's not good enough to get you a job in today's market. I do acknowledge that a lot of skilled jobs these days will have a requirement, a degree requirement as part of their minimum requirements. However, companies these days look for a lot more than just a degree. They want specific skills and personal qualities that tend to only come out if you are heavily involved in like projects and side projects, or you have past work experience like internships and other jobs that you've worked in. I discussed a few ways you can increase your chance of getting a job, so make sure to check out that video just to have a better understanding of what companies are looking for besides just a degree. Anyways, today's important question is, how useful was my degree from UCT when it came to job hunting after graduation? And to answer that question, I'm gonna share my experiences and conjectures right after the intro. I had 5 internships before I graduated. I think I got addicted at some point. And these were very handy when it came to job hunting, especially like for full-time permanent positions after graduation. I came across most of the companies that I interned at through events hosted by a UCT student-led society called DevSoc, or I think it's short for Developers Society. It's like a society mainly for computer science students. My first internship was in second year, and I didn't have any industry experience when I applied for that job, when I got the job offer. I think the closest thing to work experience that I had was I was an orientation leader a few months before that, and I was part of the house committee, in my residence. I was involved in a lot of like other projects, like for example, I was the chairperson of the IT forum for UCT residences. I was also a mentor for the engineering faculty. I tutored various courses. No, at that point it was only computer science that I tutored. All of these opportunities, the house comm and tutoring and mentorship, whatever, they were made available in some way by UCT, and I took advantage of them to improve my CV. Because at the end of first year, guys, I was enlightened. When I started at UCT, it was my first time coming to South Africa, okay? It was my first time living outside the country, outside my small community in my small ass town in Zim. And trust me, moving from a small town in Zim to a massive city like Cape Town is quite a shift. After spending a whole year in this beautiful city of Cape Town, I sadly couldn't find any vac work in Cape Town, so like I had to go back home. Because I didn't have any place to stay, whatever. So I had to go back home and then come back for second year. I went back home to my small city. Well, it's actually a small city, but honestly, compared to SA cities, it's a tiny ass town. So I went back to my small city of Mutare, where I had no job. I couldn't get a job. I couldn't get any internship. I couldn't get any free like any internships where I could work for free. It was such a depressing time. I knew straight away I did not want to be stuck in Zim. Life in Zim for an unemployed graduate, it's a different kind of struggle. When I came back to Zim to begin my second year, I was enlightened. I was focused. I had one goal: to make sure I do not get stuck in Zim after I graduate. And I took advantage of all those opportunities I discussed earlier on, and that helped me get my first job in Durban. This company flew me from Cape Town to Durban, gave me a place to live, gave me a car to use even. That was really cool. That first internship was the first time I really understood why it's really important to go and seek work experience or industry exposure. Just getting a chance to speak to other people in the industry, where they've been, how they got to where they are. And that's where I realized that a degree is really nothing. I had managers who were in completely different fields, and then they somehow ended up coding, and then boom, now they're like a coder. It was really nice to get that perspective from so many people who were experienced and have been in the field for so many years. From then on, I knew it was important to do as much as possible outside your normal degree. Break things, build your own websites, build your own, cool systems and projects and whatever, because that's really where you do the learning. The next vacation break I had, which was end of second year, the December-January break, I had my second internship in Stellenbosch and Somerset. Awesome internship. I learned so much, and in fact I had internships every vac until I graduated and went back to Zim, where I was once again reminded that this is not a place I ever want to get stuck in. The graduate program at AWS actually has students from a very wide variety of universities and technical colleges across the whole country. I've also worked with senior engineers and mentors who didn't take the formal route to get to their position. I remember we'd have discussions and debates about the pros and cons that either approach has, the money cost, the time cost, all those kind of things. And it's very interesting to know that there are people out there who have made it to very prominent positions without taking the formal route of going to university and what. And I feel like more people need to know those things. Anyways, what I just described is the biggest benefit that I got from UCT when it came to supporting my career. That is the exposure to jobs. In a way, these jobs came to me. I didn't have to go out there to go look for these jobs. I didn't have to go on some website that is not provided by UCT for job hunting. These companies that came to UCT to advertise their internship and graduate programs, they either came to UCT through an invitation from the organizers of those events, or they came to advertise their graduate programs because they're looking for candidates for those programs. Don't get me wrong, these jobs were not just given to me because I'm at UCT. No, it's actually quite far from that. Most of them were very competitive. They only took in a few students. A lot of them were only taking in final year students, and most of them, actually probably 99%, only hire local South African citizens. So it wasn't that easy to get these jobs. The second benefit that comes with the UCT is the opportunity to build a really good professional network. Guys, professional networks are the ultimate plug when it comes to job hunting. I have said this probably 3 times on this channel already. 2 of my 5 internships that I spoke about earlier actually came through recommendations made by friends who worked at those companies. Unsurprisingly, they came across those companies through UCT, either through a careers fair, or through another recommendation, or through a job listing they found on the careers website. There's many avenues that UCT actually uses to advertise jobs to students. I always try to plug my friends whenever I can. If I come across a friend, especially in IT, and I know of a company that's hiring, I'll always try to plug them because I know the struggle. I also have friends and colleagues who started their own tech startups and small companies either during university or after university, and I was actually invited to work with some of these guys. Sadly, as a foreigner, I don't have the luxury to start my own company because there are certain hurdles I just cannot skip over, and I also don't have the luxury to work for a lot of small startup companies because they usually don't hire, and even if they can, they probably wouldn't do that anyways because it's very expensive and there's so much admin when it comes to hiring a foreigner. So that avenue, although it was nice that it was made available for me, I just couldn't take it because of the logistics involved. Another interesting observation I made is that a lot of these tech startups got their funding either through competitions and events held by UCT or hosted through UCT, or they got their funding from investors that they got connected somehow through UCT. Remember that UCT has a lot of rich people, eh? I mean, it's the most expensive university after all, and wherever there's rich people, money just tends to follow them, eh? In case you didn't know, the reason UCT is a top university and the reason why it ranks at the top in most university rankings around the whole world is because of its research. If you want to get into research, if you want to be an academic, UCT is the best place to be in Africa. Don't forget to check out the video from last week. There is a giveaway. I'm giving away free money, so like, you know, it's free money. You know, you have no excuse not to check it out. Anyways, before you leave, make sure to check out this video here. YouTube is confident you will enjoy that one. If you watch that one, maybe check out this one here or this playlist. If you watch all this content, you know, maybe subscribe. I'd highly appreciate that. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay, you have a good day.